Hello everyone and welcome to What's Your Game. In today's video I'm going to be listing 10 upcoming 2020 games that are on my to play list for this year. Be sure to cross-slash that like button, subscriber button and notification bell if you do enjoy this video and want to see more. At number 10 I have Streets of Rage 4. Now this is a game I'm personally looking forward to playing, being that it's been well over 20 years since the original came out, and a game that I spent a lot of my childhood playing on the Sega Mega Drive. I've always loved side-scrolling beat-em-ups, and the Streets of Rage series is among the best in the genre. In Streets of Rage 4, we see the return of Axel, Blaze, Adam, and newcomer, Cherry. There are also new mechanics added to the series, such as the ability to juggle enemies against each other and walls to extend combos, and also the ability to recover health using a special attack by performing successful follow-up attacks. This is a nice new feature that will definitely be useful as health in previous games was somewhat scarce. Look for Streets of Rage 4 sometime this year on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Next up for number 9 is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered. This was a game I previously owned on the Nintendo GameCube, and it's one of those games I spent hours on but never actually completed, as I played it solo mostly and I remember it being extremely difficult. This game also had a co-op option, however in order to do so you and each of your friends needed to have a Game Boy Advance and an adapter that connected the Game Boy Advance to the GameCube, which I did manage to try out a few times and remember it being extremely fun, combining magic attacks to make them stronger, accessing hidden areas and finding treasure that you couldn't normally access playing solo, etc. Although one bad thing about co-op was someone had to carry the chalice around all the time, keeping them from combat, essentially till they dropped the chalice, that is. Unlike in single player mode, you had your trusty Moogle to carry it around for you, until it would get tired and you'd have to carry it for a few minutes yourself, but still, no one wants to be carrying the chalice around all the time. Also, there is no word on whether the remaster will have local co-op, as nothing has been confirmed by Square at this point, and from what we've seen in trailers, there's going to be an online multiplayer, and while this is great and all, I would like to still be able to have the option for co-op, for when friends come around, etc. Look out for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered sometime this summer on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, iOS and Android. At number 8 I have Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and I'll have to admit I've never played the first game, but I have heard great things about it and visually it looks stunning, so I am looking forward to trying this one out for myself, as I am a fan of Metroidvania games. There are also some new features to look forward to in Will of the Wisps, such as an autosave feature, which is always handy, and also a new upgrade system, more akin to the charm system in Hollow Knight. Look out for Ori and the Will of the Wisps on the 11th of March on Xbox One and PC. For number 7, I have Oddworld Soulstorm. Now this is a reimagining of the original Exodus game that came out in '98, built on an entirely new engine with a newly written story. Oddworld Soulstorm is a direct sequel to 2014's New and Tasty. This is basically the game that co-creator Lorne Lanning always wanted to make, but given the 9-month deadline of the original Exodus game, wasn't able to. With that being said, some of the new features to this game will include a crafting system which you can use to make Molotov cocktails, explosive fizzy pop and even a flamethrower. Also new to the game is the ability to have up to all 300 followers on screen at once, and just thinking about this is insane. Mudokons are now more agile with the ability to jump, host themselves and even able to use items. Lockers will now be replacing as smoke vents and shadows. Also, Abe himself now has the ability to double jump, and as if all of that wasn't enough, Abe's chanting abilities have been enhanced too. The more followers Abe has, the more chi he'll amass, which can then be used to fuel chant orbs that can freely be flown around the map. If strong enough, the orb will become controllable again after the creature Abe was possessing dies. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm definitely looking forward to this. Oddworld Soulstorm will be released sometime this year on PC, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. For number 6 I have Digimon Survive. I was a big fan of the original series, Digimon Adventure, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the franchise with this game, and from what I've seen so far, it looks really good. The idea behind this game was taken from the bonds between Digimon trainers and their Digimon throughout the numerous series, which already sounds great. Players will have to make choices that will affect the overall direction of the story, their Digimon's Digivolution and even whether a character lives or dies. This concept also gives the player choice of multiple endings, which is always interesting. Gameplay wise, Digimon Survive is a survival turn-based strategy RPG, similar to that of Final Fantasy Tactics. This game is said to be split into multiple types of gameplay. For instance, through drama parts, which progresses your main story, two situations will occur. The first being the search action, where the player searches for a way to survive during a crisis situation, and the second being the free action, where you can choose an area on the map to explore, which then allows you to choose to talk to your friends and learn about new information and problems they may be having, which in turn will deepen your bonds. Finally, there's the free battle option, which allows you to enter battles that train your Digimon and collect items. Look out for Digimon Survive sometime this year on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. At number 5 I have The Last of Us Part 2. This is a series I'm fairly new to, not having played the first game till only recently, and I can see why this game was a success. Although I am personally not that hyped as most people are about it, and whether that's due to me getting into the series so late or not, I don't know. However, it is still a game that I am looking forward to playing, as I really enjoyed the first part of the story. There are some new gameplay elements to look forward to as well, such as a more advanced combat system, running and jumping, crawling under cars, hiding in bushes, the introduction of guard dogs that can track your scent, and even a silencer for your pistol. The Last of Us Part 2 will be released on May 29th for the PlayStation 4. For number 4 I have Little Nightmares 2. Tarsier Studios are back with another installment in the franchise, and this time around we will be playing with a new character called Mono. Although we do see Six in the game as well, it has been said that this game will not be co-op and Six will be an AI controlled sidekick to Mono. Also, there are new environments to explore, such as a school, forest, city and hospital, and even combat. However, Tarsier Studios have stated that the combat will not be the driving force of the game, which to me is a good thing. I feel that's what partly made the first game so good, was that you were vulnerable and you could be killed easily if you didn't tread carefully. Also, it has been confirmed that this is a direct sequel to the first game for anyone not sure where this takes place. Be sure to look out for Little Nightmares 2 when it releases sometime this year on the PC, PS4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. At number 3 I have the Resident Evil 3 Remake. Last year's Resident Evil 2 Remake was such a success, it was easy to see them following up with the Nemesis Remake. This time around you'll play as Jill Valentine, a survivor of the mansion incident and one of the last surviving members of STARS, being pitted up against the Nemesis during a zombie outbreak in Raccoon City, where Jill chose to stay to investigate the Umbrella Corporation. Talk about bad luck. Nemesis is said to be far more deadly in this game and will be stalking you constantly. And to add to that terror, with each new encounter the Nemesis will have a new weapon at his disposal, so you'd be wise to tread carefully. If you thought Mr. X was bad, think again. More of the city will be available to explore this time than the original, and it will still be played from a third person perspective. And from what we've seen in the trailer, Jill can now dodge enemies, which will definitely come in handy. Resident Evil 3 Remake will be released on April 3rd for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC via Steam. At number 2 I have Ghost of Tsushima. The first thing that struck me when I saw this game was the graphics. How beautiful the scenery looked and the way the grass moved in the wind was enough for me to want to play this game, and after seeing the gameplay trailer I am even more intrigued. It seems to have similar aspects to titles such as Tenchu, Onimusha, Batman Arkham Trilogy and even Assassin's Creed, but with its own unique style. From what I've heard of the soundtrack so far, that sounds amazing too. I'm sure this game will be highly praised by reviews and winning many awards after its release. It's just a shame there isn't much info on it as of right now. Look out for Ghost of Tsushima sometime this year, exclusively for the PlayStation 4. And finally, at number 1, I have the Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is a game I am absolutely passionate about, and this is my favourite by far in the series, so you can imagine my reaction when Square Enix announced this at E3 2015. I'm not going to be talking about the original PlayStation 1 game, but if you haven't played it, I do recommend it. The Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be split into multiple parts, so that Square Enix can produce a bigger game with more story elements, which is what they've always wanted to do, but weren't able to on the original. The first part is going to be solely Midgard based, with 2 Blu-ray discs full of content. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe this has happened before on a PS4 game, so it will be very interesting to see how this will going to work out. Final Fantasy VII Remake follows a resistance group called Avalanche and their leader Barrett in a quest to bring down the electric power company Shinra, who are basically stealing the life force of the planet in turn for energy. Avalanche, being concerned for the planet, decide to blow up several of the Shinra's power reactors. They hire a mercenary / ex-soldier to Shinra named Cloudstrife, aka the main protagonist, to help them in their cause. As time goes on, they find themselves having to deal with a bigger threat than just Shinra. The gameplay in this remake is more of an action-based RPG this time around, rather than the previous turn-based combat. There is now voice acting this time around too, and the soundtrack, which sounds amazing, has been enhanced with a full orchestra. This is going to be one of the biggest games of the year, so be sure to look out for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which drops on the 10th of April and will be a 1-year timed exclusive for the PS4. So what games are you mostly looking forward to? Comment below, let me know, and if you haven't already, be sure to cross/that like button, subscriber button and notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.